Our panel are all consultants with Point B, which is a national consultancy firm headquartered in Seattle that we've been working with for over 6 months now on the development of the Shared Future Fund. They've demonstrated with their work product and commitment that they're really all in with helping us achieve long-term positive systemic change in our region. I'm very happy to have them here to share some of that knowledge and passion with all of you. So the goal of this panel is really to help everyone better understand the concept of impact investing and how those concepts were built into the development of the Shared Future Fund, which is ImpactNV's fund that we're developing to catalyze long-term positive change in Southern Nevada's trafficking, immigration, and homelessness landscapes.
The big difference with impact investing is that you are pooling capital from a variety of sources and allocating that capital not just for grants or other types of allocations that don't necessarily have a return on investment. You're also seeking to achieve some sort of return. And in this case, the Shared Future Fund is attempting to bring together the public, private, nonprofit stakeholders to address these large, very complex, challenging systemic issues in Nevada. The long-term vision that we worked on as well is that ultimately the ideal state would be a self-sustaining model where you actually have a fund that is continuing to generate enough capital to provide additional opportunities to invest without having to constantly be raising money to fund the vehicle.
If you can create an organization that has enough resources to make an impact, but recycle the capital, maybe have, in addition to grants, you have loans and perhaps even equity investments in things that are program related to the three-legged stool of trafficking and homelessness and immigration integration. If you can have businesses that help sustain the organization so that all of the energy of the organization isn't constantly spent in raising money, but actually is recycling capital, there is a belief that you can make it more sustainable and have a greater impact over time.
Is this fund going to do programmatic work itself, or is it mostly going to be directing funds and supporting other nonprofits and others in the community in doing the more programmatic work? Be a connector, be a catalyst or a flywheel in the community for those connections, and then help figure out what's working, and then put funds and energy resources behind it to accelerate it.
I'll give a tangible example around an organization that has one objective in mind. It's the National MS Society. They want to eradicate MS. For 15 years, they've been providing over $750 million of funding to the smartest scientists in the world. And they wanted to take that basic research and move it to another level. They were getting impatient with the drugs that weren't hitting the market to benefit people with MS. And so they started a venture philanthropy arm where they would take a pool of capital and they would invest it in entrepreneurial opportunities around MS. And on their very first deal, they parlayed the brilliance of the scientists that they had helped them with the due diligence on this first investment with the Switzerland status, if you will, of MS. They were thought as the honest broker. They only care about one thing, and that's eradicating MS. In the case of the Impact Fund here, we care about the three-legged stool, which is, reducing sex trafficking and homelessness and improving immigration integration. $1 million begat about $286 million of capital for the cause of MS. And I think this has that potential. The planning and the thought that's gone into it, I think gives it a shot that if real money can be brought into the organization, there will be an infrastructure there to take it and really effectively be a catalyst in making these, three very large objectives meaningful in regards to the impact it'll have on this community and other communities around the country. We're inspired by the project. We're just incredibly impressed with the people we've interacted with at Caesars and with Lauren's team, and we want to try to help as best we can. And we've seen it work in other situations, but this is unique and different in many, many ways. So we think you have the right team in place, and we're pleased to be part of it.